We edge closer to the semifinal. 2 seats remain. The warriors of the table are donning their armor and preparing for the battle, all craving victory and dreaming of the trophy in their grasp. Who will be the hero of the table tonight in this, the PartyPoker.com European Open 3?
Good evening, I'm Jesse May, back again with the Razor, Ian Fraser. Now, Ian, if you're new to this game, in this format especially, what do you think people need to know about hand strengths, relative hand strengths?
Well, I mean, we all know ace is obviously the best starting hand you can have, but before you come in and play these, you should have a mindset that if I get such and such an hand, I'm going to play, whether it's the high pairs, aces, kings, queens, whatever. An ace king, have it in your mind before you sit down how you're going to play that hand. Ace king is a great example. A lot of people will slow play it, and others they're all in. So you've got to have a bit of mindset before you start. Really.
But I mean, you have to adjust, I guess, also depending on what the action is. A couple of weeks ago, we had someone fold pocket kings before the flop, and they ended up being right.
Yeah, well, I've seen that a few times myself. But
have you ever done it?
No, never. Pocket threes, maybe. It's just how you feel at the time, Jesse, really. You know, you can put someone on a hand, it's like even after the flop, if you think someone's got something and then the flop comes down and it's what you think that guy's got, you might be totally wrong, but you'll automatically throw your cards away. Because once you've got that in your mind, you can't get rid of it.
You have to make up your mind and then be willing to change your mind.
That's right, yeah.
2 seats left open in that last semifinal. Let's see who's at the game tonight. Blackpool's Simon Zach recently made a final table at the UK Open. And at the final table in this event last year is the Piranha, Andy Pyra. Essex builder Kevin Atkin is all action. And all the way from Germany is Frank Blumelein. Experienced poker pro and former online player Ian Cox. And rounding things out, Irish bookmaker and bridge club qualifier John Keown.
As the players prepare to take their positions at the table, let's remind you at home on how to play Texas Hold'em.
The game begins with each player being dealt 2 cards face down from the dealer. These are personal cards or whole cards. Players must first make a betting decision based on the value of those 2 cards alone. Now here's what you can do. You can call or match the money already in the pot. You can raise or put more money into the pot, or you can fold and get right out of there. Because it's no limit, players of course can always go all in or put all their money into the pot. Once all players remaining have put the same amount of money into the pot, here comes the flop. These 3 cards are community cards. There's another round of betting after the flop, and if no one before you has bet, you can check. That means no bet. The 4th card, or the turn, is dealt, and there's another round of betting before the river, or the final community card, is dealt. Another betting round, and when the betting is done, we see who's won. Players can win the pot by either showing the best 5-card poker hand, or if everyone else folds, you win the pot, no matter what you had. Here comes the glide. 6 players lining up like bowling pins in this heat of the PartyPoker.com European Open 3. A lot of form and pedigree here. There's Simon Zach, who recently made a final table at this format, and Andy Pyra, who reached the final table of the European Open 2, along with a couple of newbies. And from Northern Ireland there, John Keown, or from the Bridge Club. 100,000 is the starting stack. That's it right there. Yellow's worth 1,000. Blues are 2, and the Reds 5K each. One of these players will win every chip of the 600,000 in play and progress on to the semifinal stages. I'm joined here by Ian Fraser. And Ian, as this game gets underway, those 1 and 2 seats there, Simon, Zach, Andy, Pyra. They'll probably have the
Pass.
form and pedigree here.
Yeah, they have. I think they both got similar games. Jesse, I don't know too much about Simon,
Raised
but I know
6,000
Andy's game
total.
very well. He was on the final
Call.
table last year.
Atkin, triple in the bet with the 9s, and quick call with the under pair by Bloomlime.
Pass.
Look at these early levels, especially first level. People
Call.
more inclined to see flops. I mean, look at
Pass.
Keown here.
Yeah, he's content just to call this. Not three-handed me, but there you go.
I think some people define themselves by the way they choose to play ace-king. Look at this, 3 9s for Atkin.
Check.
And is Keown going to be able to get away from this now
10,000.
that he's missed?
I should think so. He only flat called anyway, Jesse. He hasn't hit
Pass.
anything, so it's quite an easy pass.
You can see the wheels turning. It's always very tempting to put your opponent on the hand you could beat. For me, anyway.
But the way to look at it, I mean, if he thinks his ace-king is good up against the other guy's hand anyway, then he should have raised pre-flop. So, you know, it's quite an easy pass for him. He's had it in his mind before how he's going to play the hand, which is good formula for yourself, you know.
Kev Atkin taking that pot down. You wonder, should he have gotten greedy there? Would you like the chance of winning a trip to Las Vegas? Roxanne is here to tell you how.
Have you ever dreamt of playing poker with the big boys in Las Vegas? Well, here's your chance. You could win a holiday for 2, including flights, accommodation, and £500 spending money. All you have to do is answer this question. Who won the World Series of Poker in 2006? A. Phil Hellmuth, B. Jamie Gold, or C. Gus Hansen? You can enter by going to www.5.tv/poker. Entrants must be over 18. Competition closes at midnight on the 22nd of May.
The timing is imperative in this game. You know, if you got a good judge of when to and when not to, I think that's a fantastic advantage.
Pass.
Cox.
Pass.
Definitely.
Puts these cards in the crapper.
Yeah.
Pass.
And
Raised to 8,000 total.
kind of feel like
Pass.
Pyra's willing to make his own arrangements. If he gets cards in position, he's nearly unbeatable.
We've got a hand here, Jesse.
Uh-oh. Pyra's already come over the top of Bloomerlime once. Frank looking to return the favor, and are all the chips going in before the flop?
I think if Andy does go over the top here and goes all in, he'll probably get a call from this guy.
24,000 total.
Normally you don't. You just probably want to flat call this. Don't see an ace on the flop, and then you can try and get your chips in. But
16 left.
I said you were no good at numbers, Andy.
This is a great situation.
there you go. He's just he's hoping just not to see an ace, Jesse. But I fancy
Trying to work out if that would seat 2 or
the other chap would have probably called him if he'd have put in a big raise.
I feel like now Bloomerlime actually has a chance to get away from this.
Yeah.
But we'll see. Will Bloomerlime fire at this? He's only got ace high now.
Check.
And
30,000.
Pyra just...
Yeah, I think that's enough to put him off. You know, I know we can see the cards, but another check from Andy, he would have definitely come out and bet, because he's come out and bet against Simon when he had nothing. But obviously Andy don't know what he's up against here.
Are there any hands Bloomerlime can beat right now that Andy would have called with the re-raise?
No, well, again, he's got the nothing, hasn't he?
Pass.
Yeah, that's what he's reckoned.
I do have a hand, occasionally I do have a hand.
Pyra's showing those for advertisements.
Yeah, I wouldn't have shown them.
No.
Especially when he just flat calls his raise.
Occasionally I do have a tendency to go all in with Jack 4 as well.
Okay.
Ever-present smiler Andy Pyra. He has fun in life and loves his poker. Big result last year making the final table in this event, but it's in his blood.
There was no way I was going to get out of gambling. Granddad was a bookmaker, Dad's a bookmaker. There was only one thing I was going to end up doing, and that was doing my brains. So, yes, you could say I'm well honed, or I've honed my skills for this game.
Lights, camera, action. This is TV poker at its best. Join us after the break for more action of the PartyPoker.com European Open 3. Welcome back to the PartyPoker.com European Open 3. The man they call the Piranha is chomping at the bit and has taken over the chip lead. Will the rest of the table be able to strike him down? We go over to Jesse May and Ian Fraser.
Thanks, Roxanne. Is it the calm before the storm, or have the waters already gotten deep? Under the gun is Zach from Blackpool.
Pass.
I played last night again.
Pass.
Charity game. You could smoke in the room.
Pass.
Nobody interested,
Pass.
I hate it when you could smoke.
but blind on blind here.
No, I hate it when you could smoke in cartridge. Especially when I first started playing.
Raise to 6,000 total.
I'll do some fella there with an extra.
Call.
Interesting. Could have seen a little more action here. John Keown playing it.
Yeah, well, he flat called when he had the ace king. That's a massive flop.
That's why George.
Will he trap
Check.
Ian? Ian's checked the
Check.
queen,
Yeah.
second pair, and a recheck by Keown.
Yeah, nice play.
older than the rest of us.
I think Ian will come out and have a bet here.
These guys are all
He
trappish.
only started smoking to give people the needle.
It's nearly impossible for Cox not to think he's got the best hand right now.
So what it is, going with his
Yeah, because he didn't get a re-raise pre-flop, so
7,000.
he might not be putting the guy on an ace if he just flat calls this. This would be good stuff.
and every card him stop smoking. And he's addicted to
Will he get
cigars.
paid off by a small raise here, maybe? No.
Well, I think the way he's playing this guy, he just flat call again. Seems to know exactly what he's doing.
Raise.
No, he is putting a raise. I think Ian's a good enough player to put it down, Jesse.
Ian has bet 7,000 on the turn, and the raise
20,000 more,
is
27
a
total.
pretty serious question to be asking right now.
Yeah, what I've seen of this chap as well, he does play fairly tight early on. And as I say, he's definitely good enough to put this down.
Cox does do this for a living. This and sports betting, both of which cause you to...
He's got 100,000 chips, Jesse. I don't think he'd be wanting her this early. Try and gamble away some here with second pair.
Call.
He has called. Well, I mean, as it turns out, he's drawn dead to 2 cards. The king would be a disaster. Has he taken an opinion that Keown's on a draw?
Well, he might have done. He might have put him on a couple of arts. Oh, mate.
Jeez.
Absolutely different class on this game. Absolutely different class.
It's you don't really always get what you deserve here, do you?
Keown now, he's going to probably put this down because he's got to put him on the queen.
18,000.
So I wouldn't be surprised if he don't call.
I feel like this game is very unfair. Poor lad from the Bridge Club, John Keown. First time on TV, and you think he can put it down?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
He shows it and folds it. And,
He won't be showing.
oh my. Well, if, you know, I mean, the only good news for John Keown right now is he's going to find out later on that he did the right thing when it does come on TV. But Cox sticks his foot in the crapper and gets his toenails painted. I mean,
He must think he's blessed now.
looking at the leaderboard, I mean, John Keown and Frank Blumelheim short stacked in some ways through no fault of their own.
No, they both picked up some cards, Jesse, and they find themselves bottom of the stack. The 3 guys push their way to the top of the 3 that we sort of was looking at to make the action here anyway. So see how we go from here.
Ken Leonard was in here in the commentary box last week, and he was advocating that poker needs to start using a clock for every player, every decision. You know, just
Well, it is what. So you get
like a chess clock. You know, you
yeah.
have a certain number.
Every
amount of
player
time.
gets an amount of minutes or something for the whole tournament.
Yeah.
Call.
Yeah, good idea.
Pass. Call. Raise to 10,000 total.
This is a
Pass.
very aggressive kind of raise. I mean, Pirate couldn't do this unless he decided that Zach is limping weak.
Call.
Yeah, it's a big raise. He don't. So I say, I think it don't even matter that he's got the freeze, Jesse. When he decides he's going to have a raise, he just bungs them in. He don't mind.
Well,
Pass.
Blumelheim.
Very unpredictable to play against.
Bloomalime has called from the big blind, and I wonder if he can afford to have called here. I mean, he's only had 35,000 at the start. He's got about a third of it in
That's
right
what I
now.
say to you. Is that,
Call.
Don't you kind of feel like he had to go all in there?
well, he could have done, yeah. Could have done. If he don't hit the flop, he'll be passing, won't he? Then.
Zach has come along for
Oh,
value.
look at this
and
for Andy. He must be thinking it's Christmas.
Piranha.
Check.
Oh, dear, he
Check.
definitely check this because he's got to be thinking he's, someone's got ace bit or something in there.
And he's looking very hard at the board.
Yeah, nice check.
And
He's probably thinking something. Yeah, there you go. Well, that's the end of poor old Frank, I think. He's got to come out and bet this.
yeah, this is.
All in.
Oh,
And
Andy's. He can hear birds singing, Andy.
Pass.
Come on, no Hollywood, Andy. Just get the chips in.
there doesn't even seem to be any reason for Hollywood here.
25,000.
Money's all in.
Yeah.
Bloomalime does have 2 8s and 2 kings to make the winning hand, but the likelihood is the
25.
German is
Call.
going to be
Nice, gentlemen.
off his mark.
Well, he's let the other guy think that he's got half a chance here. Look, he's strangled him.
Yeah, that's a bit hard.
King or an 8.
Bloomalime does have 9% chance here, but
Ooh.
that and nothing will get
Good luck,
you.
everybody.
Exactly, and he just never seemed to get going back
No,
to Frankfurt.
nothing.
I mean, absolutely no chance at all there with the cards he got.
Yeah. No, you're right. He got some decent cards. He played the hands. 21 hands it took, and he's gone. Auf Wiedersehen.
Looking at Bloomalime's last hand, the key was
Hey.
Pyra.
The
Checking
left one,
on the flop and letting Bloomalime catch up and then getting his money in. Full house, of course, beating kings and 8s in the end all. Pyra, early chip leader. Very close to a double up here with 184,000 and quickly establishing himself as the man to beat early on.
Where are you from?
The gambling side of things does interest me a hell of a lot. Everything's better with a bet on. Me and my dad used to play Subutio. We'd have a punt on that when I was sort of 9 and 10. Not quite sure whether or not 9 or 10-year-olds should be punting, but I certainly was. And I kind of learnt my lesson, or you'd have thought I'd have learnt my lesson because I did my brains. He was always beating me.
Well, Andy's improved on those early days, and his poker success he now attributes to our tournament director, Mad Marty Wilson.
Mad Marty just sort of did take me under his wing a little, improved my game a hell of a lot, and that's where I cashed in a Portuguese Open 18 months back. I cashed in this tournament last year, and in all honesty, you've got to put it down to Marty.
They play for big money here, but the pressure doesn't show on Pyra.
If you're putting up $5,000 of your own cash, you want to make a day of it, don't you? That's just the way I am in general. Anyway, I'm quite a happy-go-lucky fella. Nothing really gets me down, and that's my table image as well. I mean, laughing and joking. Future holds hopefully a hell of a lot of money, so I can play in this event next year.
Well, it's a good start here for Pyra. 184,000 is a strong position at this stage.
Pass. 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 Raise to 10.
Raise from Cox, 4 plus 6. I think every hand that Keown has played has been
Call.
against Cox.
Yeah,
Just,
the
just the way it's happened,
see
really.
his cards there. Yeah, he obviously fancies playing against him. Or this is we could almost say it's a bit of a loose call from Keown the way he's been playing. Good flop for him.
Is
He's
that
up,
two
he's up and
clubs?
down. No, 2 spades.
15.
He'd definitely be wanting to play. Yeah.
Raise all in.
I guess it's the only move he could make right
Yeah.
there. I mean, calling
Raise your 15.
would have been too much of a stack in the pot.
Yeah, yeah.
And as it is, can he get Cox off the hand here?
Yeah, he's only got second pair. There's a couple of spades out there. Does he want to be putting all his chips in with second pair?
44 more.
Well, it's only 44 for him, but
I wonder if Cox has kind of underestimated count here. That was a very the bet on the flop may have been a little missized.
yeah, I always when people play this way,
44.
you know, after a flop and they're pretty short, you know they're almost definitely drawing. You know, he might even put him on a jack with him.
Feel
You know,
like
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, if Keown had a king,
Jack Queen,
you
Jack
feel like he
nine,
would have
yeah.
smooth called for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Cox very experienced. Guess he could go down that line of reasoning.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be putting 40,000 in for this.
The
You know,
raise.
he's got a nice stack of chips.
Ian, you think
Yeah.
Ian's going to pass?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, yeah.
It's 44,000 more.
You know, plus he saw his ace-6 last time with a 2 pair, so you know he could be putting him on a king.
I mean, I guess you know, you said there's a spade draw out there. There's straight draws. If Cox is right, I was going to say
Yeah.
he's not that
Pass.
far ahead, and if he's wrong, he's way behind.
Yeah, that's right. Plus, you know, as I say, he's decent chip stack. He don't want to be putting half his stack in, you know, in that hand. He can wait.
So Keown takes the pot away from Ian Cox on the flop. Revenge is sweet. That was good, but Phil Hellmuth knows how to be great.
So you want to be a great poker player? This is what you're going to have to do. You have to play very patiently at the beginning of each level when the blinds are slow. And patience is important because a lot of people who get impatient bust themselves. You're going to have to make sure that you don't make mistakes, especially obvious, silly, or stupid mistakes. You're going to have to pay attention to the players across the table from you and look at them and know whether they're weak or strong. That's what separates the men from the boys. Finally, you're going to have to be able to take advantage of that information. When you see that they're weak, you're going to have to make big bluffs. And when you see that they're strong, you're going to have to fold strong hands. And that is the secret of No Limit Hold'em.
To find out how to be a dab hand at poker, go to our website, www.5.tv/poker, and watch some tips from the pros to help you out in our exclusive video tutorials. You can catch up with the latest from the tournament news, info on the players, and enter our competition.
Well, of the 5 players here, 3 reasonably comfortable with more than they started. Atkin, though, under the gun here, 47,000. How tight is it? How much time will he have?
Pass.
Not for the first time around to the blinds.
Clint,
Yeah?
Call.
are you going to re-raise?
No
I'm not
raise.
gonna. I'm not gonna. You check it down. You checking it down?
Listen to Andy. Let's check it down, he says.
Yeah, they won't be checking it down. I promise you that.
Wow. A set
Check.
for Zach.
Andy thinks he's slow playing the 8 here. If a king comes up, he's going to be in all sorts of trouble.
Very dangerous slow play from Pyra, isn't it? I mean, the 8 is almost guaranteed to get beat right now.
Oh, there won't be a lot of action now.
10,000.
I wonder if Pyra can fold this.
Yeah, I think he will.
You got one. Sneaky you're being. That's a flat call. Yeah, the flat call. Was that 10,000?
Yeah.
Huh.
How sneaky I'm being. You call this back about how sneaky you're being.
They're trying to be all matey, but they
Raise.
were both dying to
20,000
nick
more.
each other's chips, Jesse.
Well, the possible straight out there is very dangerous. And a Pyra's representative, what does he know now? Does he think he's beat now?
Yeah.
What does he think Zach has? 2 pair?
Well, you've got to put him on these low cards, haven't you?
Check to you, Andy.
Check as well.
You
Check,
know,
check.
Yeah, there can't be another bet go in.
This has ended up being like one of the biggest pots of the night. Did anybody misplay it?
Well, once I almost thought that after the flop Andy would pass. You know, I know he's hit the 8, but Simon put the bet in. I thought he'd pass, to be honest. You know, he ain't put a chip in the pot. It's only his big blind.
Well, it's ominous rumblings from Simon Zach, who's a bit of a man in form here, though. Now with the chip lead, will his nerves hold?
Sometimes you need to be nervous before you play any big event or you play any. It keeps, you hear top sporting athletes talking about, the nerves before they go and play anything, top snooker players, top runners. And I think sometimes you need those butterflies there. You need that bit of, adrenaline to give you that bit of an edge, really. When I played the World Open earlier this year, it was for some reason I went down at the table and it got to me. I was really nervous, and I shouldn't be. I'd played about 4 up to then. And all hands were shaking as the chips were going in for the first couple of hands or whatever, and you start thinking to yourself, what's happening? Why am I being like this? What's going on? It's not normal. It's weird. I've had more than my fair share of draws out of local UK festivals, £1,000 events, £500 events. I've done okay keeping the bankroll going, but as big wins, I haven't had a big win yet. But it's great to just get out there. If you are winning, and you can have a shot at playing a bigger game, playing sensibly and trying to use your winnings to go forward. It's just fantastic getting out there, getting out to the EPTs and getting out to America and playing these big tournaments. It's I enjoy it. It's my hobby and it's fantastic to be there.
If you're not holding all the chips at the end of the game, then you're going home with nothing. Join us for more poker action after the break.
Being all honest.
5 still playing in this heat of the PartyPoker.com European Open.
See, now you would probably see Andy coming out and playing a few more pots now, Jesse, because he's lost a few chips. He'll feel grieved about that and he'll want to get them back.
Raised to 17,000 total.
Oh, wow. They've both got the same hand.
Don't be silly.
Andy really does have to sit and think about this, doesn't
Well,
he?
he's trying to work out the best way to play it. I don't think a flat call would be the best way.
Raise.
Yeah. Might see a big raise here. About 40,000.
50,000 more.
50, yeah.
67 total.
It's looking good a little while ago.
Yeah, he's right. They'll go straight in the bin. I'd like to see him go all in here. Just to see it in his face.
I tell you what, the cards are playing some games here. Well,
Yeah.
you said that you think Ace Queen is one of the worst hands. Both these guys
Yeah, horrible.
hate it right now.
Horrible.
They've been forced to play it. And the only good news for Pyro right now is that the decision is back on Zach.
Oh, yeah.
And Zach is funny because Zach
And I'll make a decision after that.
Zach hates his decision as much as Pyro just hated his.
Yeah.
And Andy's won it.
Yeah, well, he don't want to be putting 50,000 in. He's raised it. Look at Andy, he's got to show him.
Of course he does.
I knew he'd show him.
Just for fun there, huh? And I think at the end of the day, it had to do with the fact that Pyro is a little bit sicker. You know what I mean?
Well,
He's
no, I
just-
think he'd be pleased with that, won't he? He's got his chips back now.
Yeah.
He'll probably sit back again now.
Kev Atkin feeling good. He was in the middle of that with Ace Jack.
Yeah.
You've read the wrong book. now I know why you play like that.
Marty's got it's really Marty's
Oh,
book.
Marty can re-raise with only 2 cards, yeah.
Raise.
Lines of 3 and 6,000. Here comes. It's
Marty's
funny.
book, you can call all in with only 2 cards.
You had to ask Andy Pyro who his poker mentor was. I guess he'd have to say he learned the game from Mad Marty
Pass.
Wilson,
Pass.
tournament director.
So he's putting
All
a.
in.
He's called all in. He's putting a big bet here with a pair of sevens. 26,000, Jesse. It always
Wow.
tells you someone's got a small pocket pair.
Right.
And they over raise it.
Pass.
Which is good enough for Atkin to try and match up against. And I think Keown is going to find out that the re-raise is small enough that it's a mandatory call.
Yeah.
15,000 more.
Once they turn them over,
Call.
there ain't really a lot in this.
No, I mean, Simon, Zach.
I'd rather have the sevens, obviously, but
Well, you would, but if I'm not mistaken, 2 sevens have been passed. I think there may be no sevens left in the deck, which is something that Keown does not want to know right now. And if it comes an ace or a king, he definitely doesn't want to know it.
Yeah.
Atkin all in and sucking wind. And
He's got more outs now. 4, 8, 11.
The turn has just made things a little more
11
interesting.
outs he's got.
Oh, he hit it.
It's always the way, isn't it? It's always the way.
Keown just not getting any love from the deck tonight. And I think we're going to get to see a little bit more of Kevin Atkin here, but Keown shaking his head.
That'll make him feel happy, I should think.
Looking at that hand again. Straight raise, pocket pair versus the overcards. But backdoor straight, 10 on the turn, jack on the river, Broadway. Bringing the builder up in chips. Blinds out. Simon Zach big blind. And this has been certainly the tightest level for Andy Pyra.
Yeah.
Pass. Pass.
I felt like he was so... I feel like he's lost his momentum somewhere. I don't know if that's by intent or what, but he's giving the other guys all feel like they have a chance in it. Automatic all in, you think, here? Or
Call.
maybe not.
No. He's very disciplined, this player, isn't he?
No raise.
Just fancy he had to win that 12,000.
Yeah.
Something Zach might have called, I guess. I don't know. Keown has about 19,000 sitting back there.
Oh.
And
well, Keown, I can't see him making a bluff, can you?
excuse me, Keown has 19,000 back there. That's right. Well, if he does, he's going to lose the whole soul stack, isn't he?
Check.
Yeah. Check.
Check.
That's the right thing for Simon Zach.
He's definitely not going to get a chip off him
Check.
now. He's got a bet now.
25,000. Pass.
You know, he could never have bet the flop. Otherwise, he might as well have put his chips in pre-flop with a raise then.
When some players get short stacked in these things, the way they play has in direct proportion to how long the car ride is home. The longer the car ride, there's usually the bigger the hand you require to get your chips in.
He's put his chips in with a king.
Pass.
He'll be getting a call from Coxey.
Pass.
For definite, yeah.
Yeah, it's only 19,000. Oh, pair of fives for sure. And
Call.
yes,
Another 13.
almost impossible to think of what Cox could have folded with. And a straight race, not the worst spot for Keown.
Nope.
Chance to make 40,000. But he doesn't look like a man who expects to be at this table much longer. Although, here we are wrong again. 2 cards to come. 2 chances for Cox to hit a 5.
Hey, that's right hand, wasn't it?
Don't make any difference at all.
No.
That's true. 4% chance.
And if
He survives.
yeah, big deep breath.
Well,
Comedian here. Yeah.
his timing was good there, Jesse. He got his chips in at the right moment. So 41,000 he's got now.
It's not off the floor, really. I mean, he's still desperately sure.
You know, when you know that you've got to double up, you know you're in trouble. But if one double through and you back to starting chips, you know you're always there.
Simon Zach, first to act. Not much.
Pass. Pass. Pass.
can't believe how many hands these guys have played.
Yeah.
This could be a record. I mean, everybody's looking at their cards.
Call. No raise.
And this is another time when Cox probably could have won the pot before the flop.
Check.
Is he just trying to give Keown different stuff to think about or something?
I don't know, it's probably because he is quite short. You don't want to risk anything. If you're Coxie, you don't want to risk any chips. You know, because a guy could just straight all in over the top of you when they're short. I only like playing against if guys have got this small amount of chips. You've got more. You only really want to be playing them
if you got something.
If you got something, or raise them pre-flop.
Okay.
It's sort of a do or die attitude.
Very close to the end of 3 levels. And how about that? Simon Zach, not only is he in the lead, he's won 19 hands. Most of them have been uncontested, I guess.
Yeah. Very good statistics.
I'm wondering if the stats are wrong. I can't remember 19 hands he's won. Jeez. Lines up to 5 and 10,000 now. And we're just looking at those statistics, Ian. Showed that Simon Zach has played twice as many hands as Andy Pyra and won twice as many.
Raise to 25.
There's a raise here from Atkin. And this is interesting. Atkin, he's pressing here, isn't he?
Yeah.
And is he going to get caught is the question. How strong is Ace-Jack here?
Well, I said to you, to me, you know, I don't think they're big hands.
That's what you would have
I really
Pass.
don't, yeah. I really don't.
Well, Atkin may not get caught.
Pass.
No.
Call.
The Ace-Jack is folded, the King-Queen is tossed, but Pyra wants to have a look at the flop. And if he hits, he'll be right, I imagine. Truth is, Pyra can basically bet it his will here and win this pot.
So you'd fancy yourself with a pair of threes here.
Check.
You have to bet that if you've got a pair of threes, Jesse, you know, in my opinion.
Now Atkin's going to lose the pot just because of it, isn't he?
Yeah.
But, I mean, even if this hadn't have hit Pyra, he could make this bet and win right now. With virtually any card.
Yeah, of course. You know, if
30.
you've raised with a pair, it's different if you're calling someone else's bet with a freeze. But if you raise with a pair of threes and you flop that Queen 4 deuce, you've got to be betting. You know.
I think Kevin Atkin had made that raise under the gun solely to steal the blinds, and then he was done with it. I think.
Yeah. Well, that is exactly what it was, Jesse, isn't it? You know, that is the difference between. I suppose I shouldn't say it, but it's the difference between a good player and
a great player
and an average player.
Well, I mean, right now it's a difference between Atkin having 60,000 chips and an average stack of 120. So, I mean, it's huge, isn't it?
Would you like to jet off to Las Vegas to play poker at the Bellagio, shop at Caesar's Palace, and overlook the city from the stratosphere? You could win a holiday to this amazing city, including flights and accommodations for 2 and £500 spending money. All you have to do is answer this question. Who won the World Series of Poker in 2006? A. Phil Hellmuth, B. Jamie Gold, or C. Gus Hansen? You can enter by going to www.5.tv/poker. Entrants must be over 18. Competition closes at midnight on the 22nd of May.
Check out all you need to know about poker on our website, www.5.tv/poker. You can find out all you need to know about how to play the beautiful game and test yourself in our quiz to see how good a player you really are.
Five-handed, someone's going to be wanting to raise this up every round. Nice big raise there.
It is, and this is a hand that Pyra, I imagine, was folding stuff like this earlier. He's changed gears.
Pass.
Yeah.
Pass.
So, Simon's got quite a big hand here, pair of tens. We might see some action.
I wonder if Simon's trying to talk himself out of this.
Call.
That's weak, isn't it?
Yeah, it is weak. You know, my opinion, make a stand there with the tens, but
I mean, I feel like Pyra's now going to win this pot if the ace flops.
Well, you don't know. I don't think you'd be getting Andy off of this hand.
Check.
Up and down straight draw for Andy Pyra.
Yeah.
And he's put a bunch in the center. Was it all of them?
Tens can't play now, whatever happens. He cannot play. But he's played the same all through the heat. He's smooth called with all of his pocket pairs. So he's obviously just looking at the tens as a pair of deuces or threes. But it was another 30,000. I mean, has he made a move on him?
60,000 is what Andy's bet, which is somewhere around half his tank.
Yeah, if he thrown him away.
Pass.
Is Andy going to a quick fold by Andy? And, that was kind of a tell in itself, because Pyra's been showing him every time he had a hand.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh gosh, Andy has just told Simon that he didn't have him beat. Basically, I think. Perhaps Zach should listen up to Phil Hellmuth, who of course knows how to spot a bluff.
So, you want to improve your reading abilities? Do you want to know when they're weak? Then you have to trust your instincts. It's all about instincts. There are certain tells that you can use. For example, the steeple. Almost every time someone does the steeple without moving their mouth, they have the hand. If they're trying to do the fake steeple, then in general they'll go, that means they're weak. But the steeple is a strong indicator that they have a strong hand. How do you tell when they're bluffing? Look for things that they wouldn't normally do. Sometimes when the flop comes down, a lot of players tend to lean forward when they have it, and they lean back when they don't have it. But basically, the most important rule for me is I use my own logic and my own instincts, and I study the player. That's it. Study the player. Look at them.
This could be the level, couldn't it, where somebody just pulls away from the pack?
Yeah, like we said, we're not going to see a lot of hands play, Jesse, because of the 5 of them still in it at 5-10.
Pass. Raise all in.
There you go.
Random
Ace
ace.
5.
Ooh.
Pass. Pass.
See, I'd rather put 30,000 in with a king jack
42 and
to have a look than a pair of tens.
32 more.
What do you fancy Kev Atkins going to do here? He actually has more chips than John Keown by a factor of about 2. King Queen looks a lot prettier than it is sometimes.
Yeah, they do look pretty.
But it'll be a reasonable gamble. And Keown just pretty happy there, I imagine, not to see a bigger ace. That would have been a disaster for him. He's actually favorite here. But it looks like he's expecting a king or queen on the board, does Keown?
Well, that ain't a bad flop for the ace, is it?
A deuce would end it. Make Keown a wheel. Atkin funkin' for a king or queen is Kev.
This would probably be a jack or something like that. You know what it's like.
You're right.
Yeah. Ace held up.
Ace holds up.
Whew, he says.
Yeah, I think
you don't want too many of them.
Slices of pies. Andy Pyra has got everybody else wedged into a corner here. And this level has done the difference.
Yeah, the 5 and 10, Jesse, it's always going to be backed at 5-handed. I don't know how long we got left of this level, but we might see a couple go out here even.
Kev Atkins got the button there, and 31,000. He may have run out of the option of getting his chips in first. He may have to get him in second with this stack. Where he picks up an ace or something.
Yeah, which you don't really want to do, but.
Pass. Pass. Pass.
And I'm not sure what he folded there, but as Ken Lang likes to say, I would have been very interested in going all in there.
Check.
And
any chance of any diamonds? No.
These two are just determined to play big pots. Actually, it's all been Ian Cox, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Check.
He's forcing Keown into these pots.
Well, they're about level stacks. Yeah.
Check.
Now, how does Ian feel about his 2 6s? Was he checking
20.
to get the money in?
No, I don't think so. He's going to give it a call, yeah.
Call.
Jeez, that's dangerous,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
I mean, Keown is drawing to a deuce, a 7, or an 8. And if he bluffs here, oh, well, 2 pair for Ian.
Check.
Check. He's gone all in. What a good bet.
All in.
What a good bet.
That was a great bet. I mean,
You know, only gets call if he's beat, obviously. But
Ian's made a complete
Oh.
hash of this, hasn't he?
yeah. So I'm saying all of a sudden he's put himself
Has he
down
showed
to
him? I think he might have showed him.
I think calling the 20,000 was a bad move, Jesse.
Yeah, Keown got one over on Ian Cox there. Bit of a pitfall there for Crapper, but he's used to the ups and downs of gambling. Ian Cox, a professional gambler, played quite a bit online, had a big result there also in the sports betting arena.
This game is one for the big boys. If you're not up for the challenge, you're out of here. Join us for more action after the break. Welcome back. I'm Roxanne Ciordia, and this is the PartyPoker.com European Open 3. Are these players losing their concentration? Is their patience waning? Only one can make it into the semifinal, and they're all looking for that lucky break. Back over to our commentary team.
I've heard a lot of players say that if you're in a multi-table tournament, the most important thing is you know, who's in your small blind and who's in your big blind when you're in the blinds, because you can do a lot of work there, can't you?
Pass.
But I don't know.
You see a lot of the top players, Jesse, in the big multi-table tournaments. You know, when you're watching, you see a lot of the top players. They'll pick on the same 1 or 2 people around the table, and then they make a point of saying it. You know, oh, this is only a coincidence. I'm not.
Right.
Call.
But they do it all the time. And you just got to know your players.
And another blind on blind here. There's been a lot of infighting in the blinds this game. It's either been Zach and Pyra or Cox and Keown.
Check.
And tell you what, if a spade comes, it's going to be very
Well, if it's an ace or a king of spades, you get a bit of action.
Pyra's hand is much better than Simon Zach's, right? Oh, look at that move.
Raise all in.
And,
he might call it for the simple reason he's got the baked bean. You know, he's got bottom pair, middle pair.
It's hard for Zach to be beating him both ways, isn't it? Unless Zach has flopped a flush. I mean, there's almost no hand that Zach could have that
70, 80.
is a better pair and a better
Yeah,
draw.
but then he can't. I don't think Andy's going to be putting him on an ace or a king, is he? Because otherwise he'd have raised his blind. You with me? So
yeah,
that's what I'm saying. If you analyse it all, I'd put him on either one spade, or he could have hit any of this. So,
but on the other hand, isn't the bet too big for Pyra to call with only a spade live?
that's how he thinks, isn't it? You know, you can look at it the way where how it actually is. The other guy's just making one move on him, and his 5 could be in front.
Yeah, I mean, if Zach had a really big hand. Huh.
Good pass.
Good pass, he said.
You know, as soon as they say that, they got nothing, don't you?
And
how many more chips was it, Jesse, to call?
it was about 80,000, I think.
No, you can't call it.
Maybe 70,000. But I would imagine that Simon Zach now feels like he's gotten just about even with Andy Pyra. And that was the first one he'd taken out of his hide in a while. Maybe, Ian, the deciding factor was that Pyra could fold and still have 200,000.
Oh yeah, you know, he's 100. You know, 99 times out of 100, he's played it exactly
Raise
right.
26.
To me, if someone goes all in, Jesse, they've either got nothing or they're drawing. You know, you don't go all in if you got an hand, do you?
All
I
in.
hear that.
You know, not once the flop's down. I mean.
Atkin has moved from the small blind to Cox's. Excuse me.
20.
No, it's Cox who moved, made a raise under the gun, and Atkin called all in from the big blind. He's got Cox dominated here.
25 more.
35 more.
Think he'd be making a stand here?
Yeah. It's a re-raise all in from Atkin. And Cox is now trying to decide if it's worth the price. It's 35,000 to win 92.
Well, you know that don't rub with me, the odds.
Right.
You know, you either think you're in front or you don't. It wouldn't worry me if I was getting 4 to 1 here. If I didn't fancy it, I'd throw it away. And you know I don't like weak aces anyway.
Well, Cox has called, and that's going to leave him
Call.
very short. As you
Nice.
say, you know, Cox is way behind, and he's basically playing a pot for his heat here. Atkin
Yeah.
feeling great about things. Unless the 8 pops, this will be probably the Atkins' highest chip total of the evening.
I'd rather called him with 8-9. You know, he's got a chance of a split.
Good chance of a split right now for Ian Cox.
Any picture?
A 6 or yeah, every picture a 6 or an ace as well. And that's the bad card. Cox is funking for a high one. Atkins says put anything out but an 8.
Oh,
Kicker plays. Had to look twice, didn't you?
unbelievable.
But big double through here for Kev Atkin. And
Yeah, let's put Coxie down to 39,000 now, short stack.
yeah, I mean, I
These have been flip-flopping, haven't they, these three?
I have been Cox's. He's a little bit tight-faced here. Well, we haven't had any marathon heats so far in this tournament, but this has all the earmarks to go in the distance.
Yeah, it does. 85 hands we played, we only lost 1 player. Unreal how it's going.
I think everybody has taken their turn with a short stack except for Pyra.
Yeah. No one's asserting any pressure on the table, are they, at all? It's just like, let's all just sit here all night and see who picks up aces.
I kind of feel like someone may have told them that if they reach the 10 and 20,000 level, they get half their money back. And
Well, they're going to have to get all the chips in a minute with something, aren't they?
I mean,
So that's what it's going to be.
there is still only going to be one prize. Only one guy's going through. No,
Pass.
the cards have conspired a little bit with the short stacks. The all-ins always winning, but
Pass.
just has the earmarks of another fold around.
Well, he's got to have a bet here. He's got 62,000. Yeah.
All in.
Pyra in the big blind with the 2 pair, the 2
Pass.
5s.
How much?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Here to
Getting
gamble.
used to saying that,
Yeah. We're to gamble.
What would you do here? I mean, the best, obviously, Pyra knows he's going to be up against overcards.
47,000
Yeah,
more.
no,
if you
it's
wish
not
to
my
call.
sort of hand, Jesse.
You'd rather be stealing with those with that money.
Yeah, I'd rather have my chips in first. If I call,
Call.
you know,
Okay, thanks,
I'd
sir.
rather be calling with some higher cards matching without the pair.
Got news for
You know-
you. If Andy Pyra loses this pot,
He's going to be in trouble, isn't he?
He's going to be back down to where he started, which is nearly mind-boggling.
And you're flipping a coin now for the majority of your stack, whereas earlier on when he's on 200,000, he could have been raising these guys left, right, and centre,
Yeah.
and had his thumb printed on their nose.
On the other hand, now if the king or queen doesn't come, Pyra will wipe his brow and say, "I think I won this thing."
That was close. Let's give another 4.
A 10, a queen, a king for
12.
Keown.
12. Oh, a 5.
Mamma mia!
We lose our second player.
They gave it a good run, and I mean, at the end, a chance to get back in it with 130,000. But it is the Piranha
Okay.
who might have his hoof print stamped on this field. These 4 hard at it, but not with those. Chip-wise, it is still Atkin who's got the ground to catch
Pass.
up, but Cox might move with those.
Pass. All in.
Right.
Andy's going to call this.
Oh, yeah.
Because he'll think he's making a move on him anyway.
Oh, yeah.
But even if, say if Coxey went all in with his 9-10.
He's not in bad shape, Cox,
No.
against this hand.
I wouldn't mind betting that these two aces would have passed.
Yeah. Yeah.
114,000
stronger
more
from
if you
Cox.
want.
Bloody hell, Simon.
I don't think he can fold a million years.
No, with fives.
Is it time to gamble again?
Wow. Pirate can call and lose and have 100,000.
Why?
Balls.
You can't say that on
I used to have some balls.
This is a family show.
Yeah, at 10 o'clock at night.
I think he's made his mind up. He's passing, Jesse, the way he's acting there.
I mean, what's the argument for passing here, Ian?
Well, if he passes, he just makes out he never had the hands, don't he? And he's on to the next
Show
one.
me this one.
But, you know, he's got to think that he's moving on him. Because if he had a big hand, he'd be... Simon's good enough player, flat call him or just put a small raise in. You know, if he's got a big hand. So you've got to think your ace-jack's winning, or the worst way, you've got to put the other guy on a really small pair.
Jeez, it seems so pessimistic to fold here. Don't know, unless Andy told himself when he sat down that he was absolutely not going to be making big calls pre-flop, just big raises.
Oh, sorry, is it me? Sorry.
Pass.
I find that stunning.
He's hoping and praying he's going to show him. Look.
He just reckons that Zach
Oh,
is
you
kind
said
of
you're
tight.
going to show me. I never answered. I was never going to show you. It was obviously a monster.
Obviously a monster.
Well, Simon Zach has every reason to think that he actually had the best hand there. I mean,
With two jacks, been two overcards.
An ace jack.
Anyone's game, this is, Jesse. Any of these four. Whoever's prepared to stick their event on the line, really.
I mean, Pirate's chip lead is nothing now. He does have 200,000, but it's nothing. Don't know what's happened here.
Pass. Pass.
You have to have
All
such
in.
a
Well,
strong.
there'll be action here, Jesse.
Yep.
See, yeah, pair of tens.
Call.
Yeah, this is a bit of a cold deck for Kev Atkin, who
Straight cards over jacks.
finally started to really get aggressive and.
And he'll be double pleased to see these threes. He's half expecting to see a couple of overcards.
What? How much more to me?
It's 100.
Cox covers Atkin, which is
He'll be
desperate.
chip leader here if he
Yeah.
wins this.
This is desperate for Kev Atkin. It's funny that a lot of times poker doesn't offer you positive reinforcement. I mean, you kind of have to say Atkin did the right thing here, and he's just gotten a bit unlucky. hasn't he?
Yeah.
Though there are still 5 chances for him to catch a 3. See how he's feeling. Nothing else out there really, besides a 3.
When you see these low cards come out, they always follow up. There'll probably be a picture now, but when you start getting the low ones, they always come out together, don't they?
Diamond's not going to matter here.
Right.
2 3s in the deck for Kev. Middlesbrough builder.
Are we going to go? Oh, not again. Ooh,
Flush.
all the low ones.
Yeah.
Well, we're down to the 3 that we thought it was going to be out of, Jesse, so we got that right between us. And I would think that the momentum and how the game's going here is Cox is. I know he's got the most chips now, but I think he's got the game to take it to them now.
The leap from online gambler to live poker player is large, but Cox is a deft hand.
Texas Hold'em in particular is a game that you can learn in 5 to 10 minutes. The rules are pretty basic, you know, much the same as playing chess or whatever, but to master the strategy and to learn, you know, because every situation is different and new, even though you might have the same cards. It takes a lifetime to master. I'm still improving, and I will carry on improving. Well, someone said to me earlier in the year, you know, you're always the bridesmaid, never the bride, because as far as playing poker live. I've only been playing less than 2 years now, just over a year and a half. I was always an online player before, and I've won plenty of titles and tournaments online, but I haven't won a live tournament yet, but I've had 2 second places in European ranked events this year. So I'm still waiting to get my hands on my first trophy to take home. And the trophy means more to me than money, in actual fact.
Ian's got the passion and desire to win, but is that enough?
I think it's 30% skill and 70% luck, because it doesn't matter how skillful you are. You know, I say the cards have to run right. And poker players, you know, you read it on the internet forums all the time. You hear stories of every tournament you go in, people are fed up with bad beat stories, because they are a part of poker. That is unfortunately something you have no control over. You have control over the way you play a hand and using your skills, but you have no control over the way the cards fall. And the odds might be X or Y for something to happen, but sometimes the cards just defy the odds.
Three-handed now, and the first time that Ian Cox has gone ahead. But there's not that much in it. Chip-wise, I mean, Simon Zach would be the chip leader with a little double through.
Pass. All in.
And,
Well, he didn't call with ace-jack, did he? So.
I mean, that handle obviously come back to haunt him. And I'm wondering here if Pyra, after he folded the ace-jack, if he got information from Zach that told him that would have been a good call.
Yeah, I didn't hear what they said after that hand. I know Andy declared he had the ace-jack, but I don't know what Simon said.
114,000.
If he does happen to call here, he obviously he'll like being in front, but he won't like the other 2 cards.
Zach is not funking for this call. It's a very similar situation to last time, which is that if Pyra calls and loses, he'll have about half a chunk left.
Ace free-hand is a massive hand, Jesse. You know,
worse than the last time.
You got to know that.
I still think it's a... Ace feels great, doesn't it? It feels great at the moment.
I don't know who will be reaping the rewards out of these 2 chatting to each other, do you?
A year ago, I would have been straight in there.
Yeah, that's probably what's letting you down.
You must have Jack 4, man.
He would have.
Yeah, you know, that's what they say. We saw 22-year-old John Wong last week. He called with an ace-queen for all his chips, and that's the difference between 22 and 32. I can't believe Pyra's...
Good pass. Yeah.
I think he's lost his bottle.
Yeah.
He just said it. He said, I'm too old for this.
What's that?
I'm happy with what's in now.
Yeah.
I just hope, obviously he's been playing these hands tight, Jesse, and I hope he don't wind up sticking his chips in with rubbish in a minute, you know, calling something, because he'll look back on this and completely regret it. I hope he carries on playing the same and it's successful for him.
Saying before that did learn the game from Mad Marty Wilson, and the Mad Marty school of poker excellence is you always get your chips in first.
Yeah.
Raise.
And it all looks good until you run into a huge hand, and I think he's going to get away with this.
I don't know, this guy's got moves in him.
50,000 more.
Pyra folds the ace-9 for an all-in call, but with the 10-3 and the small blind, he does to Ian Cox what Simon Zach done to him. And yeah, if you are going to fold the ace-9 to the big blind, you have to be willing to do that.
As the game goes on three-handed like this, and the bets are either all in or pass, every time I had the button or the small blind, if 2 matching cards, I'll be all in. Because I wouldn't even mind if you come up against ace something, which that's the only thing they're calling with, ace jack, ace queen.
But it's also kind of like the more these guys are scared to or trying to avoid trouble, the more likely it is going to be that that's the only way that they're going to get knocked out by running into big. Sooner or later, it's just, you can just feel it. I mean, you can just feel that somebody's going to run into a big hand at some point.
I think it might. We might have one here.
55 in total.
He must re-raise now.
Plus.
Yeah. It's 35.
Let's see a flop.
Wow.
Yes. What's
Come on, Jesse, do your best.
It's the best news Ian Cox could have heard. I guarantee he didn't want to see it all in re-raise there.
No, he would have passed.
But maybe Pyra's going to get crafty. Flush draw for Ian.
And I'll tell you what, you might he'll have all his chips in here.
If Pyra goes all in, Ian Cox might not be able to call.
No, you're right.
So it is. Who gets the chips in first?
Well, the way Andy's played, he's got a check, hasn't he? You know, he's called with the ace-10.
Well, looks like he's thinking of making half a lump bet. And Cox will go straight all in over the top then. Won't he?
50.
Yeah.
All in.
The percentages say this is a dead split, but Cox getting his chips in first. That is the real change.
He can't call, Jesse, can he? He can't call. I hate to say this, but I think he played the hand terrible.
Does seem like. I mean, there are probably some hands that you could have called before the flop with, but the ace-10, being that it has such a good chance of being goody, and you got to just get the money in, don't you?
That's right. And when he, anything barring an ace flopping, he's in massive trouble, ain't he? Because you know the other guy's going to go all in.
Oh.
I think, to be honest, it's the sheer pressure of this tournament, Jesse, and the format. Only one goes through, and I just think it really does, get the people that there's so much pressure on you actually winning the table and going through.
It's such a shame there, because if Pyra had moved all in, he would have won. I think he would have won the pot on the flop. At the very worst, he would have been 50-50.
Yeah.
I mean, Ian Cox hasn't come this far to call everything on a flush draw with undercards.
That's right, and he would have took it down pre-flop as well.
And the situation now, Cox has been allowed to get to 370-something thousand.
Pass. All in.
In all effectiveness, it's over unless one of these guys gets going.
Has Andy just declared all in?
Yeah, he's gone all in small blind. And
yeah, he's going to get a call there.
now he's in a race.
Call.
Yeah.
Nope.
Straight race for Pyra to get back to where he was.
Yeah.
And the way things have been going for Andy of late, you don't fancy him to win this, but he is. I mean, he's see what the deck has to say. 2 4s need to hold for Andy Pyra. The Piranha.
He won last time. His 5s held up when he was all in before against overcards. That's King, wasn't it?
That pair on the board, bad news, because it gives chances of a counter.
Oh my! That's
just the way it's going. 2 cards in the deck for the Piranha. Andy Pyra has not hit him, and
Lucky.
Yeah, that was bad for him. He'll have to change his nickname to Guppy or something after that performance.
I mean, he played some great poker early on, but just slipped away, and Cox has just been too strong.
Andy, you're out in 3rd place this evening. You started off really great, but seemed to tighten up towards the end. What was the reasoning behind
I
that?
think basically, once I've got a few chips early on, I've no need to play anything until the levels start getting quite tasty, which they do. Sort of 10, 20. Got to start trying to make a few moves, and I'm not sure whether or not my balls are big enough today. To be honest, I was a little bit scared out there, if I'm completely honest.
Thanks, Andy. We'll be back with more poker action after the break.
This heat has been long and drawn, but only one of 2 can go through. The semifinal is PartyPoker.com European Open 3. And both these guys have winning form, but Cox seems to be the beneficiary and have the chip leady, and just by virtue of the fact that he hasn't made any big mistakes, maybe.
Yeah, finally down to 2-handed, Jesse, and it's the same thing when we went down to 3-handed. It was Cox who made the last move and knocked the other player out, so momentum in his side again. We'll just see how this goes now.
Looking at the stats, besides the fact that Simon Zach is about 5-1 out chipped, these guys have had similar types of games tonight.
Yeah, it'd be no one's really made any sort of fantastic plays or anything, Jesse. It's been a quite an average heat.
Wow, still stunned that
500,000 chips against 85,000, I'd be wanting to see some flops myself. You know, make the...
I'm all in.
Raise
Yeah.
all in.
It's reasonable. Zach's not going to mind. Those cards are matching.
He's
Quick
picked up
call,
big
yeah.
hand, yeah.
Not only is it a big hand, it's a dominating
Yeah.
hand. And this could be a very quick heads up.
Yeah.
But Simon Zach, who hasn't really caught much of a rub of the green tonight, if he can get this hand through, it'll be a horse race. Oh! I didn't even
How
see that.
sick would that be?
Both players have flopped a straight.
Both flop straights.
Simon Zach has flopped the second nuts and is drawing to a one card to split.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
That's insane.
You know, and I guarantee both only looked at their own hands there, Jesse. And you know, it's heart-wrenching, ain't it?
Yeah, it has to be a king. It's not.
Yeah, all over. All over.
And, maybe that's just symptomatic for how this heat went. Just a complete cold deck at the end there. And Simon Zach stunned in second. It'll be Ian Cox in the semi-finals. And a very workmanlike victory from
Yeah, probably almost gifted to him as well, Jesse. As we said, he was down to about 29,000 at one time.
This game showed us how important it is to have confidence. Ian Cox came into this heat telling himself he was a winner and climbed the leaderboard like a Trojan. We go over to Jesse, who sat with Ian, and the runner-up, Simon Zach.
Nice day at the office here for Ian Cox. Congratulations. What do you think the key was to your victory, Ian?
Well, I don't know about the key. I had a few hands later on, which certainly helped, because when the blinds get going upwards, then really you do need to pick up some hands, because it's very hard to make moves apart from going all in. That's why not many flops in the latter stages.
Simon Zach, commiserations. It was an odd heat. You had a nice relationship with Andy Pyra there. You got him to put down some big hands, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Well, you know what he was putting down. He was telling me what he was putting down. I don't know if it was true or not.
Congratulations again, Ian, and best of luck in the semifinals. It is Ian Cox, the crapper, straight through.